Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. This suggests children are a precious gift from God to be valued and cared for.
In the United States, a child a minute is taken into DHS, CPS, and so on custody. The reality is their pics are already selected, you just don't know it. Being perfect no longer matters. It's what the adopting families are looking for.
Who is it stealing the children, you ask?
From caseworker to the White House, the buck stops at all levels, just not where it is supposed to be. The services your family needs, we the people have paid for to ensure your reunification. Title IV says, reunify at all costs. United, we stand means nothing to us when it comes to family values. Children are being ripped away from their families. Parents are reverting to addictive behaviors to cover the pain. The trauma caused by child removal is just being recognized, and the results are atrocious. Termination of parental rights is not healthy for anyone, just profitable for the people enforcing the lie.
It's time Washington listens to the cries of our children, the wails of their mothers, and the rage growing in the fathers. These are our children. Keep your damn hands off them. We are coming to act on the behalf of the children God gave us to protect, and you kidnapped.
True sharp as obsidian, cutting through the lies. Heavy boots stomping on corruption in disguise. No more cash for kids, we're blowing up the schemes. From the swamps to the courts, dismantling their dreams. We rise, fists high, no justice, no peace. Cleaning out the swamps, unleashing the beast. You can't buy the future, leave the kids alone. Truth prevails with force, we reclaim the throne. Coward suits, sticky fingers in the till. Eviction notice served, we bending iron will. Paper trails, burning fire sparks the night. Shadow lurking, leeches bout to flee the fight. Polluted waters run deep, but we purify. Cleaning out the sludge, leaving no alibis. Obsidian sword swing, heads roll clean. This a reckoning, felt but never seen. We rise, fists high, no justice, no peace. Cleaning out the swamps, unleashing the beast. You can't buy the future, leave the kids alone. Truth prevails with force, we reclaim the throne. Corruption's clock ticking, hear the final toll. No handouts, no buyouts, we devour the mold. Seeds of revolution buried deep within the night. Darkness on the horizon, but we the burning light. Clock ticking, hear the final toll. No handouts, no buyouts, we devour the mole. Seeds of revolution buried deep within the night. Darkness on the horizon, but we the burning light. Light, 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 light. no buyouts, we devoured the mole. Seeds of revolution buried deep within the night. Darkness on the horizon, we the burning light.
Good evening. I'm Mr. Obsidian. Tonight, first off, I have for you the judicial determinations of the night. That would be the Declaration of Independence. This is where it starts. Declaration of Independence refers to the right of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness encompasses the traditional American fundamental rights to raise a family, to own property, and to participate or not participate in commerce and free trade, and to acquire the tools of employment necessary to seek out an honest living, to establish family, home, and property, and enjoy defending life, liberty, and property. Article 6, Clause 2, the Supremacy Clause of this Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance of the Constitution. And all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in each and every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the laws or the Constitution of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding, means notwithstanding in law. Reno versus Flores. The best interest of the child is not the legal standard that governs parents' exercise of custody. Troxel versus Granville. The 14th Amendment protects the fundamental right of parents to direct the care, custody, and upbringing of their children. The Due Process Clause does not permit a state to infringe on the fundamental rights of parents to make child-rearing decisions simply because a state judge believes a better decision could be made. Washington versus Glucksberg. Fundamental rights are a part of American tradition. Physician-assisted suicide is rejected by American tradition. Physician-assisted suicide is not a fundamentally protected right. The liberty interest in the care and custody of one's children is perhaps the most recognized of fundamental rights recognized by the Supreme Court. Santosky versus Kramer. Parental rights do not simply evaporate because one has not been a model parent. Parental rights do not evaporate just because the state has assumed temporary custody. They do not disappear. Parent and child share a vital interest in the prevention of the erroneous termination of parental rights. Parham versus JR. The parents are presumed to know what is in the best interests of their children. The statist notion that government power should supersede parental authority in all cases simply because some parents in society abuse and neglect children, or simply because a parent's decision is not agreeable with the child or involves risks, is repugnant to American tradition and does not transfer parental authority to the state. In news today, DOJ has been investigating all of the back-end Social Security number fraud going on with these executive branch agencies, and they found the mother lode. They found it. So really, I'm going to say this: Trump has issued an executive order that we are to go back to the Constitution. All of these agencies, like the Department of Health and Human Services, which apparently in Michigan issues also your birth certificate. I have an influx of new information, all sorts of things, everything from void statutes to all sorts of things, right to travel, things you wouldn't normally exercise, but due to certain family court issues such as child support, when they intervene in interstate commerce and kidnap you from one state to another due to your obligation of a child being in another state under that law signed into law by Bill Clinton, which was a bill of attainder. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. But right now, the executive branch agencies are busy trying to constitutionalize their abuse of legal process, deprivation of due process, deprivation of 1st, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, sometimes 11th, 10th, 9th. We're going to go into 13th. We're going to go into the 14th and 16th Amendment rights. Okay, so they don't have the executive branch entities do not have a power to come in and levy your taxes for child support. Things like CPS court, all this stuff. In other news, Maine legislature, I have found that Maine legislature, all of their legislature is a lot of their stuff that was based upon federal funding is repealed. They're not going to comply. Looks like they don't get federal funding in all them programs that, you know, were under Title 42, you know. Yeah, so they're going to have a nice, happy day. Okay. We're doing what we can for Maine. Maine has had a problem with these suckers for a long time, but these suckers have been spreading like herpes. It's like herpes out here. These judicial, these fake actors. It's all fake. And I will prove to you. Because I'm going to void out all the CPS codes. I'm going to void out all the state codes for child support, CPS. I'm voiding them all out. I'm going to prove them all void. And I'm going to send all this information to Congress and the president and everybody else that I've been making contact with that I shouldn't have to be dealing with. So I'm here to help everyone, and I'm doing my best. I'm fighting real dang hard, and all of us are pushing, and we're having an effect because now we went down to Doge. Mark Ludwig has went and talked to them about equal share parenting stuff. Okay, we've got the new amendment in Texas, the Parental Rights Amendment. Then we got Texas legislature moving against. Okay, Texas coming out with this this new Unborn Child Support Act. Okay, so it's not urban child support; it's unborn. It goes all the way back to the birth. That's retroactive. Retroactive is an ex post facto law. That's unconstitutional. Okay? You can't punish something that wasn't a crime when it was committed, such as procreation, which is a human right. So they got some problems now because I voided that out before it ever even got passed. You can't go through the Senate because it's not even supposed to be in the Senate. You might want to be getting a hold of your senators and telling them to get off your parental rights. The same thing with these education departments that Trump got rid of, because they were teaching perverted things to your kids through the library, through allowing them to read all these provocative books and things. And we went complaining, and they labeled us domestic terrorists. Now the shoe is on the other foot. Okay? A lot of them were fired. A lot of people protested because their program's funding was cut off. I'm sorry. This program has been a blight on society for the past, I don't know, since its inception. In other news, I can now prove to you that all birth certificates are void. But I can prove that the straw man theory is a thing. It does exist. It is a legal conduit. But the thing of it here is, people are referring to it wrong, and they often get the information wrong, which gets them labeled a sovereign citizen. If you ever get labeled a sovereign citizen in court, you tell them, are you saying I have rights and I have immunity for you? Also, another thing, citizens are property. I'm not property. Res is Latin for property. Ident is identified, property identified. I am not a resident. I'm not property identified. If any term of citizen is to be used, it's the constitutional definition in that my rights are protected from you. I'm sorry, I don't answer questions. So, without further ado, I'd like to bring the boys on and we'll free associate for the evening. How's it going, gentlemen?
Can you hear us?
Hey, how are you, Mr. Randy? How are
Yo,
you,
yo.
Obsidian?
How's it going, boys? So what you got to say about all that there?
Well, we all agree with you.
What do you guys think? I mean, you think Trump's gonna have an effect or no?
Well, yeah, he's gonna have a huge effect in every aspect of it. People are going to be
I mean, they
banging
are his
away.
agencies, right? I get that, but like, I mean, what do you guys think? You know,
All right, so I just talked to a guy for like the last hour, and he believes his family court case is in the Superior Court, but he's going to double check. I'm like, well, in New Hampshire, we moved ours from Superior Court 25 years ago, so it's possible. So, if we're going to go down that road of a non-constitutional court or Article 3, I'm going to try and help that guy with what he's got. But, I mean, as for the agencies, like, if my circuit court is in the executive branch, then that means they're going to have to move all the courts from there to their state superior court.
there's a little something about the law of contracts. People don't know this, but all of this stuff, all of it, marriage, whether you got married or not, birth certificates, all of that's a contract.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't contract with a person, you contract with the state.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But here's the thing: if your rights get violated, that's void. If the law gets broken, that's void.
That's funny, Gail. Actually, we're actually talking about 652 right now on a Zoom, and everyone can see me talking to you on their Zoom. So yeah, we were just talking about that, about abolishing.
An unconstitutional law is void.
Right.
It's also void from the beginning, which is ab initio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all in the habeas. Yeah, so I mean, who knows? I mean, we're trying to move it back to Superior Court, so we have constitutional rights.
Well, you've got you're up for reconsideration for your habeas corpus, correct?
Yeah.
Or did that transpire already?
No. I'm still under reconsideration, but the House bill to abolish the family court got tabled for another year so they can do more investigation, they said. But now that they
Really, another committee? Seriously, come on, man.
I know. They got 25 years of it already.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, my whole habeas is based off from their testimony from this. You know what I mean? So
I mean, really, New Hampshire and Maine are blatantly violating the law.
Oh, by huge. Like, our Constitution violates the U.S. Constitution.
Ooh, guess what? Notwithstanding in law.
Right.
Yeah.
New Jersey, North Carolina, and Tennessee Supreme Court said you can't shift the burden of proof, and that's why I asked in my brief on the U.S. Court of Appeals, I'm like, why did New Hampshire shift the burden of proof from proof beyond a reasonable doubt to nothing?
Which, by the way, that standard that they use with you, I kept sending you that same video because in that video it explains to you that that's not the standard by which they're supposed to be doing that.
Right. I know.
Yep. The burden of proof is on he who asserts, not he who denies. You were asserting that they unlawfully did what they did, and you were correct. And they're not getting the position that they're in. But the thing of it is that it's the highest in your state, so you're having trouble with them because you can't go. Who's higher in your state? You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, it's when you get in that supreme level that where you're like, when you get curtailed, it sucks.
Yeah, and now the Supreme Court allows district court to allow the circuit court to have more power than our rights on the hate. Like, I don't know how RSA 658 possibly can be more important than our rights, but that's what New Hampshire says.
Well, if you look in the checks and balances, you're gonna find the balance or the check for that particular thing, and you can go ahead and use that, and then that should push through and eliminate that problem, which would be removing that judge through impeachment.
Yeah.
But if your congressman and senator are corrupt, which they probably are and aren't going to do anything, then you would have to obligate them with the other branch, which would be the executive branch that's enforcing it. And the state's not going to listen, so you have to go federal, so it'll be Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, like,
and Donald Trump already told them to start listening to the Constitution. You have 60 fucking days. And now they have 57 because that was 3 days ago. So I don't know how much power that's going to have over the judicial branch, but we'll see. As far as the agencies are concerned, I see a lot of auditing going on and catching a corruption that we're not accustomed to seeing in the public eye anyways. Us people in the private like we are, we see it. You know what I'm saying? But then public officers, they don't show it to people on the television and things like that. They don't show it on the media.
that's funny. Gail just sent me the same stuff that you were just talking about. She's like, make sure you share this with everyone that's on there. So twice she's hit me up.
It's fucking coming out, man.
Talking about the same thing.
You know, the problem is that they have been doing this shit for over 20 years.
60.
Oh,
Yeah, whatever. And now it's going to be really hard. You know, not really hard.
Yeah, you ain't sweeping this under the rug, man.
Uh-huh.
This is like you peel back the rug and it's the pile of disgusting decrepitness is too big to sweep back under it. It's like an avalanche coming out of your closet when you stack up too much stuff.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that the either friendlies or unfriendlies that walk among us, that they don't actually own the house that we're trying to throw the rug out of.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a shitty fight. I watched a video the other day. Dude, they had, like, people are riding, like, robot horses. They're teaching robots to do ninja stuff. And I'm like,
Oh, man.
Like, why?
Why would you do that?
Yep. So, yeah, we're fucked. They're literally teaching robots to do, like, jujitsu.
Magic? Magnet.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, so I still haven't heard anything from Chris Griffiths out of Florida.
Yeah, he's been pretty quiet.
Ever since he got arrested. I wonder what happened. If he's still in jail or what.
I was wondering the same thing because I haven't seen anything.
Right, but I seen his profile active, but he ain't been on doing nothing.
Oh, maybe they put him on a gag order.
Maybe.
Dude, this shit's
All I know is I witnessed that police brutality, and that was some criminal ass shit.
Yeah, they're not here for us.
Fuck no, man.
I love them. I mean, I worked hand in hand with them for 22 years, but they don't know their job. That's all.
Yo, Ricardo, what's up with your how's your federal coming?
Well, people is hiding for being served.
Oh yeah.
So I'm waiting
scared now, run like little fucking cockroaches.
Oh yeah, they're hiding for this thing. You know, they're afraid. You know, since I'm not the defendant and I'm the plaintiff, all these guys they're getting they're going under the rocks.
Now, okay. You have special expertise in this, experience, not expertise, but experience in this area. I'm gonna ask you a question. You found out about the method that I used from someone else, correct?
Right.
When you used that method, what happened to the administrative lien on your vehicle?
It was removed immediately from the DMV and the child support courts.
Had they garnished your wages?
Nope.
Had they locked you up in jail?
Nope.
Had they touched your bank account?
Nope.
Did they take your taxes?
Nope. The judge ordered to pay my ex-wife's lawyer. She hasn't even dared to charge me. No one has touched my case after the last filing that I did was void all the court orders. So no one is touching my case. My ex-wife disappeared. The garden at Lightham disappeared. Everyone disappeared.
Scattered like cockroaches, didn't they?
Yes, sir. They haven't dared to do anything against me.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do in my state here in a minute.
Right. You know, once you go after them for the violation of the constitutional rights for individual actors that they have going, they just disappeared. No one has touched my case anymore. Almost 3 years from now.
Okay, let me say this. Remember what happens when you don't return their mail that they send to you that doesn't belong to you, that belongs to the obligor, right? So when you don't return the mail, that's effective service of process as far as child support or family court is concerned.
So what
Therefore, when you sue them, it would only surmise under equal protection of the law that if they did not send your process that you served them through certified mail back to you, that the proceeding should proceed because an order of default could be issued.
What I did is I wrote on those letters, I don't want to be part of the child support department or the
He said, I do not consent. He sent it all back to him, dude.
Send them it all back, and they have never sent me a letter anymore.
Nothing.
So
powerless. They're completely powerless, man.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And since and that was when I filed the warning of the 1983.
That was just the warning, right?
That was just a warning.
Yeah. That was just the color of law form.
Yes, sir.
They get that service of that. Guess what? You already served them due process. You don't need yet. Guess what? You let the judge know you already served them. You gave them a color of law form. You warned them. You let them know. They kept doing it anyway. Well, bam.
And I went there and I told the judge that I was challenging the jurisdiction of that court, and I was in a special appearance, not by my name, not my whole name. I never swore my name. And he was mad at me.
It never happened.
He said, "Oh, you already got divorced by the family courts." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, of course."
That's false.
Show me the contract that I have with the child support department or
See?
the family courts.
Right. You didn't sign anything.
Nope. My kids were never even born here.
Isn't this shit ridiculous?
I know.
They said, we're going to claim 11th Amendment immunity, but fuck the hell with the 11th Amendment. We're going to go after this guy. What?
Yeah, that's called international kidnapping.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, it is. You know? Yes, they are deporting all these people. Why they have jurisdiction on my kids when they were not even born in this country?
Right. I remember talking about
He's
it.
just trying to get his kids to go home, man.
I wish, they're deporting people that is not even from, people that is even from this country.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that too.
And that's even funny because in my country, we don't have family court.
Not like this.
No. We have...
There, you got dispute resolution, but you don't got like this.
Right. Only if you have been obviously proven that you're an unfit felon.
Right.
And you have been
They got
proving-
legit stuff over in this country, man.
Right. Because they don't make money out of these courts. You know?
Right. Which is what we should be having going on here. We won't have any of these problems, man. The gender affirming care, all this other stuff that we've had to strike down. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Man, we had to void out Maine legislature. Somebody did that. I don't know who did that. Thank you. Thank you, whoever did. That's color of law. That's proof of color of law, of state law. And then all you have to do is prove it deprived you of your rights, which is really easy.
Right.
Well, yeah, to prove it's easy. To get the court to listen to it, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to go through the right, obviously, process and channels and things. And even then, sometimes they curtail you because they've been accepting bribes. And you can prove that they've been accepting bribes when they do that.
You
Yes,
just
sir.
have to ask them which branch are they? Like,
All you do is go, are you an Article 3 judge? And if they say yeah, then you say, well, are my rights being violated by however you think your rights are being violated, by whatever state law is violating your rights, by however you say your rights are, not by how they say your rights are. That's not how it works.
No.
It only works on that level when a Supreme Court's already ruled, and it's something that's previously adjudicated in your favor, in the favor of the protection of a right, not of the dissemination or destruction of a right.
Right.
Oh yeah, bro.
well, I think it all goes back to when we sold the country off in 13 to the Federal Reserve and we lost all our power.
1933.
That's why we had this problem.
1933. What was that emergency banking act? Go ahead.
Yeah. That's why we have this problem.
Huh? Because there's a debt on everybody's fucking head.
Yeah.
Trump's trying to get rid of it.
Right.
If we don't have a national debt, guess what happens? You don't got to pay child support. You don't got to pay back none of this shit. The government will be able to pay for you at that point. If they can get overhead enough. But good luck with that.
Well, I mean,
they're facing the corruption of 6 United States presidencies.
And they know that they're corrupt. That's what they hide under the freaking family courts, administrative courts shit. Because they know
But
that
if
they're
there's anybody that could do
right.
it, it's Donald Trump, bro. I think
No.
so.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like just proving that they're, and no state is sovereign to the Constitution. The Constitution is the law of the land, so they should be listening to the freaking Constitution.
I could provide Supreme Court cases and presidential statements that show that we, the people, are sovereign, not the government. There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. And further, the word citizen cannot be used to deprive someone of their constitutional rights. So,
yeah,
let them go ahead and let the sovereign citizen word fall out of their mouth, too.
that's a whole discussion in itself that we could discuss. Sovereign American, sovereign citizen, U.S. citizen, foreign agent. We can discuss all that on like one.
You've got nationals. Okay, so everybody's a national.
I'm
One
a
group of
free living
nationals.
human being.
Yep. And one group of nationals would be mothers. Another group of nationals would be fathers, because those are terms such as, Mexican, Armenian, things like that. So it's based on one of your protected characteristics. And because of that, okay, now they're discriminating on you. See how that works?
Yeah,
Why
well, I mean, if you look up the word child, it means property. So child's
Yep. And children are your biological property. They cannot be deprived without due process. What is the due process required for children? That would be strict scrutiny. What is that standard? That standard is the least intrusive method possible, and it cannot infringe on the fundamental liberty interests of all, no matter what process is used. And the fundamental liberty interest in question would be the fundamental liberty interests of parents in the care, custody, and direction of their children.
How can they deprive me of my children if they're my children? They're my biological children.
If God won't take your firstborn or secondborn from you, then the agency can't.
Right.
Neither can the judge.
Did you sign a birth certificate?
That don't matter. That's void.
I didn't. My kids were not born here. I didn't sign anything.
Me neither. They put me on it. They put me on it automatically. Check that out. Guess what that's called? Securities fraud.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, bro.
how can deprive me of being a father when I have never?
Yeah, these
committed a
family
crime?
courts, man, they're nothing, bro. But the
They're
thing of it
nothing.
is they got all this clout that they've amassed over the years that allows them to get away with shit with impunity. But I hate to tell them that shit rolls downhill and it's coming.
No, the
It's
problem
coming.
is that people it's afraid of them when we
You ain't
shouldn't
gotta
be
be
afraid
afraid.
of them.
They should be afraid of
They
you.
work for us. They're government
They should be afraid of
officials.
you.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
they work for you. Yes.
They're public servants. They
I'm not
should
a
be-
taxpayer, so they don't work for me, but they do serve me because I am a member of the public and I am also private. Not at the same time, but at different times in appropriate proportions as to what is needed, which is how you have to observe public or private or you get in trouble.
And that's what I have a problem. It's people being afraid of these servants. People
Taking your clothes off in your private bedroom and your private domicile is completely legal. Stripping
Right.
down in public is completely illegal.
Right.
Public versus private.
Right.
Simple.
You
They
know,
are public servants. You are a
They shouldn't
private citizen.
interfere. They shouldn't
Have a nice
interfere
day, motherfucker.
of a father and a mother or whatever and the children. They don't have to be in the middle of that shit.
But how they get it is they get your identification from you.
I've never gave them that.
They do this by going, what's your name? All this other shit, right? They ID you on the street. That's how cops get jurisdiction over you. Basically, they're going to ask you what your name is and get you to agree to be the corporation that the state has established for you. Now, people will say that that's sovereign citizen talk, but I'm here to say that actually is the truth. That is the truth of the matter. The thing of it is they misquote it. It's not a straw man. Okay. It's a legal corporation. It's an entity. It's a legal entity. It's created by the state. Okay. It's identified by its picture, its associated name and address, and other personal identifiable information. And that's protected under the First Amendment. Now, if any cop ever tells you you have to give me ID, they are lying to you.
Have I committed crime?
What? Nope. Before you even do that.
I don't answer questions.
What? Yes, I don't answer questions, but what law obligates me to waive my First Amendment protected right to privacy? And that includes all of my private identifiable information. There isn't one. Terry versus Ohio. Yep. So here's the thing. So it's all protected. So them demanding it from you and taking it from you, like fishing through your pockets, all that, that's a violation of your rights. They can't touch you. Touching you is assault. That's a Fourth Amendment violation. They step in your house, that's a Fourth Amendment violation. They take your property and seize it without a warrant, that's a Fifth Amendment violation. And a Fourth Amendment. You slam them on all of that stuff. The thing of it is getting somebody that's going to listen to your case. And you're not finding that because you're finding that Joe Biden has been loading the bench for the past 60 years while he was in Congress, which I have video footage of.
And again, why the people is afraid of these guys?
We hired them. We can fire them. Exactly.
Why are you?
They're not. They're public servants. They're not public masters.
Yeah, but the masses don't listen.
And that's exactly where the issue is. That's where the issue lies, is that the majority of people don't listen and they don't know how, they don't know, much less know what the rights are or how to observe them. Much less care. Half of them don't even care.
Same. They can put you in jail and under what? They're violating your rights anyway. The police officers that go after you They're violating your rights.
Yeah, but
Here's the thing about child support, man.
you think of it. You got to think of it from their point of view, right? They're making so much money that if they throw somebody in jail for a couple of days or a week, whatever the penalty may be 10 years down the road, they're going to make 10 times that. So they don't care.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. When they became a public officer, they were constitutionally vested power. Their authority comes from the Constitution. If they're not going to abide by the Constitution, then
They swear an
United
oath
States
for
Code
the Constitution.
3331 states it that, you know, all that stuff. You go into that, the treason and shit. It mandates their removal from public office.
Yeah,
They're no longer a cop, and they do it under a cooperative arrangement under child support.
Right,
under 45 CFR 302.34. An arrangement is a contract. In there, you're going to find that judges, attorneys, political subdivisions, and basically all three branches of government are contracting to violate your rights.
And you can sue their asses.
And you can sue their asses for it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Right, but if you also read some of the papers, it says that if the public official takes an oath, swears an oath, then they also become a foreign agent. So
yes.
So therein lies a conflict of interest in everybody, because if you're a foreign agent, why would you care about foreign laws?
That only applies to Mr. Bar member.
No, not just him. Anybody in public office that takes an oath becomes a foreign agent. Because it's a corporation.
Yeah.
Right, but see, the thing about that was that was beyond Congress's power to enact because of Marbury versus Madison.
You know,
that's how it operates, but it's not supposed to operate that way, is what I'm saying.
And it's really funny because when I called the Constitution in the family courts, the freaking guardian ad litem says, "Oh, look, Your Honor, he's a sovereign citizen." And I was like, "Okay, if I'm a sovereign citizen, give me my sovereign immunity, give my kids back, sign the paperwork that I filed, and get me out of here."
Right. Title 8 USC 1481 states, once an oath in office is taken, citizenship is relinquished.
Yep.
Title 22 USC Foreign Relations and Intercourse, Chapter 11. And then it says here, the fact that the public officials are not citizens, but rather foreign citizens, all of the cases must be dismissed because the court lacks jurisdiction to enforce judicial power.
19 Corpus Juris Secundum, subsection 886 and 883. A citizen is a corporation. Right. The United States is a foreign corporation in respect to a state.
Right.
I'm not even a citizen.
So the actual, so here's the thing. Here's the thing is what that proves is, okay, is the 14th Amendment U.S. citizen, the capital U, capital S citizen, that is the second class citizen created by Congress, which is the public official. You get me?
The 11th Amendment also makes a foreign state separation from a position of public office.
You have 11th Amendment immunity to the child support orders.
Right.
Because they're a foreign public office. They're a foreign public citizen.
Right.
They're a U.S. citizen. You're a state citizen.
And the people have foreign sovereign immunity.
11th Amendment. Voila.
So now that New Hampshire and that Leah and Gail and a couple other people have the 501c4, so they can help now get assistance financially to help fight. It's kind of weird, but anyway.
Yeah, they're here. They're operating foreign. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they have to take the oath to the Constitution, because they have to swear that they're going to follow by this country's rights, the people of this country's rights.
The people of this country don't even know our rights, let alone full
Exactly.
agents.
Exactly, bro. That's the problem.
Fuck.
Like all these questions just raise more questions.
I know.
Here's the thing. Look, a birth certificate, okay? Birth certificate.
Yeah, I'm gonna revoke yours.
Here's the thing about a birth certificate. Let me revoke everyone's real quick.
Right.
A birth certificate is a certificate's included in the definition of a license.
Right. You can't tell
And states issue birth certificates, and different states have different prices for their birth certificates. So that violates the Privileges and Immunities Clause. On top of that, a state is converting the right to raise human offspring into the privilege of organizing a corporation and running a corporation that the state creates through the licensure of the birth certificate. Okay? And states cannot issue, they cannot convert liberties such as the fundamental liberty interest of parenting into non-custodial custodial parent through the birth certificate and the Social Security 5 U.S. citizen application on the SS5 form for the Social Security number. This renders all birth certificates void because they're unconstitutional. Marbury versus Madison, an unconstitutional law is void. Norton versus Shelby County from the beginning.
So what we need to do is stop.
You need a certificate of live birth that you make yourself.
Every time that I used to mention that my kids were not born here, the judge of the commissioner will say, "Oh, be careful what you're saying." I'm like, "What?"
It's with a thumbprint on it. And you go to the Secretary of State and you ask them, does this match up with your records? Can you certify and stamp that this match up with your records? And when they do, when they stamp that, tell them, I want all your records deleted because I have proof that this is all fraudulent and you just admitted to it.
What we need to...
Nothing they can do. They have to delete your entire fucking record and start over.
We need to get more people so we can go and stand in front of these courthouses with the most important information possible in a very short, like half a page.
Yeah.
And stand outside and rally. And when we get enough people together, then we can affect change. But right now, like
what people's problem is they've been trying to observe their right to protest and all that.
What? Right. But
singularly, one at a time. Don't do that. Right. You're getting yourself apprehended. You need mass amounts of people to go out and have a public demonstration, bro.
Well,
but that's a problem. People is afraid to do this shit.
Yeah, I know.
So because everyone's been brainwashed, and then when they say go to court for your kid, you're going to go. But what we need to do is educate the people and say, listen, do not go, because
do not go to their court. No.
Yeah, don't answer anything. Don't go. And I know you want to go because it's your court and it's your kid.
Don't do it. It's a trick.
Right. And as soon as we get 150 or 200 people.
That's what my playlist I made on YouTube. It shows you all of that, man.
Even though hiring your lawyer,
you're not even supposed to be accepting that mail. Yeah, I can show you in one image why you shouldn't hire a lawyer.
Hiring the lawyer, it's the most fucked up thing that you can do, because
right. seven corpus juris secundum, section 2 and 3. Attorney and client, you become a ward of the court. What is a ward of the court? You ain't got no rights. You got to listen to what your lawyer tells you.
Randy, you showed me a voice recording of these motherfuckers saying that if you're a pro se litigant in family court, you're guilty of a crime. What the
Guess
fuck?
what? Guess what? I got Supreme Court case law that shows that they're now guilty of a crime for accusing you of that.
Right. You're not. You're just you're exercising.
I have all of the stuff. The law sides with you. It doesn't side with them. They
You're
think it
ex-
does,
you're-
but they're quoting state court proceedings that were beneath the federal court level. These are municipalities, man.
administrative courts is just a
Yeah,
fucking
they don't have
kangaroo court.
any. Yeah, they don't have any judicial force. That's right.
No.
Right.
Separation of powers. They're
That's
just
why.
violating the Constitution.
That's why I asked on my habeas. I'm like, why is the executive branch using judicial case law?
They don't even have the right to do that.
Let me ask you something. Okay, a license is a right or permission granted by a competent authority to engage in some business or occupation, do some act, or engage in some transaction, which would be unlawful without such right or permission. Now, let me ask you something. Is having a child unlawful?
No.
Then what the fuck?
It's a right given by God. Not
So then
even
what the fuck is a marriage license? Get out of here. Common law marriage is the only way to go.
It's like our fishing license. What the fuck?
Fishing
Yeah.
license, that's another one. Who are you to tell me that I can't fish in the river that God made to feed me? Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Now you violate my First Amendment religious liberty because Congress can't make any law respecting the establishment or free exercise of religion. And because they can't make any law, you can't enforce any law because there isn't one on the books.
License to travel.
does that apply for my boat too?
Yes.
Oh, it's gonna be fun this year.
Oh yeah.
Travel is defined as to go from one place to another as by car, train, plane, or ship.
And it's free. You don't have to pay for that. It's your right.
That's what travel means.
Yeah, I have a ship. I will float. You're gonna work.
Be careful, they'll exercise admiralty jurisdiction on you. You're on the water. Then you'd be like, oh, well, you're committing high crimes on open waters, motherfuckers. Yeah, dude. You get them, bro. You just, you bring in whatever authority that they bring in, you just use it against them. What are they going to do? Oh, you're coming in calling me an obligor. You go right ahead and let that word fall out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna put stickers on my bow this year.
It's all just bullshit. It's just
It's
regulation.
the Supreme Court
rules.
cases. If anybody's wondering, if you're in the United States, is that would. Oh, I got something for you too, Jonathan. If you're still watching, Jonathan Uncensored. But hold on a minute. So the Supreme Court cases are. It would be Murdoch versus Pennsylvania and Shuttlesworth versus Birmingham, Alabama. The state cannot convert a liberty into a privilege and license it for a fee. So the liberty would be the freedom of movement or the right to travel, and they can't convert that into the privilege of driving. And even if they did convert that into the privilege of driving, you cannot be deprived of your privileges and immunities. Privileges and immunities means that one state is performing a different fee than another state for licensure of a common right, which would be the fact that every state has a different license fee for their licenses. It's all unconstitutional. They can kiss your ass. You don't have to pay for nothing.
Right. These motherfuckers, they threat you to go to jail for this thing, put you a lot of fines on you when they're all unconstitutional.
So here's where I
states'
pull out.
laws defends that things,
Yes,
It's like, what
yes.
the fuck?
Yes.
And people is
You're right.
afraid of challenging them when they're committing a crime, not us. That's a
It's
right.
just because people don't know, and if they do know, they're much more afraid of the system because they know what it can do.
Right.
You
This
know,
is
and if they want to put me in jail, I'll put my hands where it is and put me in jail. I file the habeas, and then I'm gonna sue their asses. I don't give a fuck.
I got 5 pages of rights they can't violate right here. 5 pages.
Yeah.
Randy sent me.
Yeah.
20 pages of rights that they did violate.
Ooh. Shit. I
Randy
love it.
sent me how many? 140 cases of law in an email that they're violating whenever they do something like that to you.
So my objection to the 17-year protective order that I wrote in the other day, I have 25 different like Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Human Rights, and then like 25 different case laws that if they grant, or I mean if they grant the protective order, they're gonna violate everything from Norton Granby to Madison to everything.
They deprived you of your right to habeas corpus, right?
Not yet, but well, they denied it, but it's on reconsideration. So
Okay, once that reconsideration comes back after they deny it again, did you know?
Yeah, but I have.
Did you know that the president can get involved with that?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I meet both 28 USC 1331 and 2241. So
Yeah, I would definitely let number 47 know what's going on for sure.
yeah. Well,
Because
unfortunately,
Randy,
putting
tell the people how many years you have been fighting against these motherfuckers.
Oh yeah,
please.
All right. So for everybody that's on, 12 years fighting in New Hampshire Family Court. I've gotten 6 hours in 12 years. This is my 6th Article 3 appeal, and New Hampshire just don't give a fuck.
Okay, Mr. Randy, it's a veteran, and he's a what do you do for a living, Mr. Randy?
Well, I was on the ambulance for 20 years.
He saves people. He's a good guy. Have you ever committed a crime, Randy?
Have you ever knowingly, with intent to defraud, committed a crime?
Or against your children, or proven that you've done anything against your children?
No.
Never.
No, of course not.
So why the fuck they don't let you see your kid?
Because the New Hampshire Family Court judge just said last week that they have jurisdiction through New Hampshire Statute 173B, which is the abuse statute of the state. But however, Title 18 and Title 62 is only through 625 and 651, and it doesn't have 173 in it. So the family court thinks they're gaining jurisdiction by giving me a protective order on a abuse statute that doesn't exist.
Obsidian, have you ever been proven an unfit father?
Nothing.
Me neither. I've never.
In fact, they shipped me down 3 counties away from here in an armored car, stuffed me in a jail cell for only a week, thank God. But they threatened me with 45 days if I were to go in front of a judge, which wasn't under the authority of the executive branch, or at that time I thought executive branch, which they put him in the judicial, but it's not supposed to be there. Yeah. Friend of the court came down there and subverted the original jurisdiction of the judge, gave me 5 days in jail. I got out, I had to come back, deal with my dog. They have not been able to do a damn thing to me ever since. And they'll never do anything to me again. And I'll shut them down every chance I get. Even if they throw my case out tomorrow, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. And that includes New Hampshire because of what you did to this man right here.
Right. Tanawa said that he was someone that helped out in a state case the other day. And the lady tried to read the Constitution into her trial on the record, and the judge arrested her and then threw a mistrial.
Hey, they put me on supervised visitation because I could take my kids away from. I could take my kids away, and I didn't have even the passports of the kids.
I got told if you don't pay me for the next 20 years, we're going to throw you in prison. You'll never see your child again.
Wait.
If you don't sign this, we'll also throw you in prison. You'll never see your child again.
The funniest part is I told the judge, Your Honor, I don't have the passports of the kids. I can't get away from this country, even though my kids are not from this country. Oh, you're a flight risk. And I said, I can't get them out of the country.
You can't get passports for the kids without the mother's consent.
But the guardian ad litem said, "Oh, you can go to any embassy."
That's incorrect. That's a lie.
And I told the judge, Your Honor, she's a lawyer. She should know that what she's saying is a lie. I can't do that. But they grabbed the fucking supervised visitations, and I had to go to supervised visitation, paying $120 for 2 hours every other week to see my
Now you tell me if your parental rights are fundamental and the bedrock on which your most of your other rights are based. Now, why should you ever be subjected to a situation where somebody else is going to come dictate what your parental rights are that are fundamental? Can you tell me that? I don't understand it.
Because
it's like you got two different governments fighting each other.
For money, everything that they do is money. That's what they want. Money.
And in the meantime, this man ain't seen his kid in how long? And this man ain't seen his kid in how long?
3
and
years.
they still got their children's stuff in the same way it was. I bet you it was same way it was set up when they were still there. And I bet you every time they see it, they start to tear up. But y'all motherfuckers want money. You all want bribery. You want 45 CFR 302.34 cooperative arrangements under the state plan to violate people's rights premeditatively and deprive them of due process because you allow expedited administrative or judicial proceedings that don't require hearings. So, in violation of the separation of powers doctrine because you allow legislative, judicial, or executive branch agencies exercise the same branch of code. Are you kidding me?
Somebody just asked what kind of abuse. I think it was to my question. It's just the regular statute abuse for New Hampshire, but it doesn't meet the federal statute for abuse. And then there's a new bill coming out for a better description for a sexual abuse thing too, which was the video that I showed Ricardo that we're talking about. But it's just regular abuse, but there was no evidence, so they still got me on it though.
What abuse? You know, it's like, have you ever been in criminal court?
And don't talk to these people. For real, what Ricardo said too.
You know, it's like, have you ever been in a criminal court, Mr. Randy? With a jury trial? And you have been convicted of a crime? No. So they're violating your Sixth Amendment right too.
That's a bill of attainder.
Yeah, but you want to hear a funny story? An offshoot to a criminal trial? So working as a medic down in the Boston area, I got called into a court case for an overdose case that apparently had children in the house, and the mother overdosed, and we saved her, and blah blah blah, and the DA was trying to take her kid from her, and because I was one of the medics on the call that kind of saved her life or whatever, we got called into court, and that prosecuting attorney didn't know that he was talking to another attorney. That judge was like, "All right, Mr. Collier, you've had enough." She's like, "You're free to go." The DA was trying to get me to say so much shit, and I was just like, just throwing it right back at him. I'm like, I'm not fucking.
I don't answer questions. What's your designation? Do you have an anti-bribery statement? Where's your oath of office? start blasting, bro.
Well, I know, but I was in uniform. I was on the job. So
word. I got you.
I had to show up to court.
Professionalism.
Yeah. With a bunch of other cops and everybody and all the other medics and all this shit. But anyway.
Witness or something? You were a witness?
I was the first one to lay
hands. Oh, yeah. Word.
So, but it was just funny that the DA was trying to take her kids away because she was prescribed medication, but.
Oh, jeez.
but either fell asleep, maybe took one too many, whatever, maybe whatever the problem was, but it wasn't intentional because she came to like
That's repugnant.
with quicker instead of a longer duration of being unresponsive. But anyway, yeah, it was just funny. Like I was answering the DA's questions with more questions.
They don't like that because then they're like,
Oh,
well, yeah.
No,
I mean, I'm as puzzled as you. Can you give me some answers?
yeah, he didn't know he was going up against someone that knew something, so it was kind of funny. But anyway,
and we can go to videos that we have seen guardian ad litem training lawyers how to accuse fathers.
right?
You know, you've seen those videos,
Oh yeah.
and no one does anything against these people.
Well, hopefully we'll change it with my habeas and hopefully with Tanoa in DC. But I got a jet, guys. So
All right, man.
be good, be safe.
Good having you, brother.
Yeah, you too. We'll talk again soon.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Take care, Mr. Randy.
Ricardo, get those poles out, buddy.
Oh yeah,
I need a fishing lesson.
it's almost time to go fishing.
All right.
Have a good night, Randy.
Man, I tell you. So, service of process.
That's what I'm
You got how many left? How many you got left, bro?
In charge of the child support department that now is governor in Racine. The last judge that he's the son of the Attorney General of Wisconsin. His name
That's
is
a conflict of interest.
Lee Dreyfus, and then the guardian ad litem that she's hiding her ass, Lisa Bangert.
Well, that's all right because she didn't. I better shut my mouth if she's watching this. We're coming for you. If you're watching this, we're coming for you. You know what you do? You do what you do. You know, if you can't get it, you just send it through the certified mail process. And if she don't send that back and it goes to her office, it's considered served. And you go ahead and default her. You go ahead and default her because that's what she would have done.
I don't care under what rock she's hiding. I'm coming for her. You know, she took my kids away. She's kidnapped my kids with legalese and with whatever.
Yeah, and we've talked about this. So
yeah, you know, it's like I'm not giving up. Those are my kids, brother. I've been there since they were born.
Right, that's your progeny. That's your livelihood. That is your posterity. They can't take that posterity from you because we ordain and establish the Constitution because of posterity to pass it on to further generations to benefit everyone and all of mankind. But it seems like with the development of one world government that that the world has forgotten who the hell we are.
Her name is Lisa Bangert.
Yeah.
Dreyfus Lee.
We're coming for you, lady.
I'm coming for her. I'm coming for all these people.
Yeah, don't worry. That's I turned that name in. Don't think I haven't turned that name in.
They don't have the right to take my kids away. I've never done anything wrong to them, and I've loved them, and I'm gonna fight for them. I've told you, or they kill me.
We've had many 8-hour phone discussions. You, me, and John.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know,
we are the Family Court Avengers, and we are coming.
I don't care what they do. They know where I live. I don't care. I'm here.
Yeah, they can come anytime they want. You got all my techniques. You've been studying. You got all your own techniques. You've been studying. You got so much knowledge, bro. You're up there with me. With me.
The only one that I am afraid of is God, and not because I know that He's not gonna judge me. It's because I'm afraid to offend Him.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
You know, I'm not afraid of any of these guys.
I'm not afraid of other men or beasts or any of that.
No, sir. No, sir.
You know what I mean? I could be out in the woods and find a boar in the woods. I ain't gonna be scared.
Brother, God gave
You know,
me
I might
everything.
run away and live another day, but I'll be back.
Oh yeah.
That's some good bacon.
I'm gonna hunt them all with justice, not
You
with
know,
violence. I don't, and I've told you a lot of times. I don't go by violence, but I know that justice is in our side. The
yeah. When
Constitution.
you, I want to clarify. When he says hunt them, he means that he's going to hunt them down and serve them with legal process, the proper way of doing it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The justice,
We don't
God.
advocate violence. No.
No, no, not even for a bit. You know,
Very last resort.
it doesn't even. You know, if I'm gonna defend myself, yeah, I'm gonna protect my life. But if I'm
But
going,
other, yeah, yep, yeah. Traditional, yep, yep.
yeah, if I'm gonna
And that's
go
what I'm
against,
saying, man. Dude, you've been here this long. You're here legally. You're here lawfully. You're trying to acquire your genetic property back, your human offspring back.
you need
However
to
you
be
want to come
careful.
in, however you want to call
You're
your parental
pulling
right.
away, coming after. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
can't be
yeah.
touching that. That's, man, the sacred bond of parent and child is something that it's a statist notion. It's this notion of these oligarch type state. This is the deep state. When people say the deep state, they want you to think that it is the NSA and the CIA. That's one deep state, but there's another one. It's the state governments, the state legislatures, and all these people out here like James Lankford, who make the Unborn Child Support Act, where they come in and submit you to involuntary servitude for something that wasn't a crime when it was committed, such as the right to procreation.
Right, and
You know,
LD, for real, I'm clarifying this. It's like I'm coming for them legally. I will never
yeah,
do anything violent. I'm God gave me a freaking brain and the justice, and we have the Constitution that our fathers, the founding fathers of this country, gave us all the constitutional rights to go against these people. I will never go against them. You know,
yeah.
in a
No. I'm not. Yeah, no. We don't ever advocate hurting anyone. This ain't about hurting physically, although they have hurt us by depriving us of our rights and basically relegating us to a second class of living below everyone else and unable to buy or sell because we didn't accept the mark.
right, right.
Mark of the Beast, 666, 42 USC 666, perpetrated by the actor under 42 USC 616, which is 42 USC 1983 lawsuit for deprivation of rights. That'll be $250,000. Or
Right.
whatever punitive damages, whatever. It's actually whatever damages your state goes by for their personal injury claims.
And the beautiful thing is that if you can prove, obviously, that we can prove that they're violating their rights and they have violated their oath in office, whenever you go after them, and you can prove their bond in office is violated, no one is going to be ever assure them. They will have to retreat themselves.
Although they can, although they can use some things against you, the constitutional right cannot be converted into a criminal activity.
No, no, because we're going to with the law.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, I think, okay, YouTube has a censorship problem, but so does Facebook. They both got a censorship problem.
Right.
The thing about that is that censorship comes from a government agency somewhere called the FCC or somebody somewhere in the government is figuring out regulations that govern all that, which means that's a government agency, which means Facebook is subject to 42 USC 1983. And although it is a private corporation, it can be sued for violating your First Amendment right. And that would be Hart versus Facebook.
Yes, sir. And we're protected by the Constitution, anyways. You know, As long as
But
we're not
yes, you have to clarify that you're not
right,
advocating
right,
for violence, because that's not what we're going for here.
right. Hey, I gotta go. I have to do something else. But it has been a
All
pleasure
right,
being
buddy.
here. And
Thanks for coming on and free associating with me.
yes,
I
sir.
appreciate you.
Thank you for everything, my friend. Thank you for everything you do.
Yeah, man. I'm always here.
Thank you, man, and thank you for helping everyone like you do, brother. That's
I
a
got to, man. Psalm
that's
8
something.
2. If you look up the book of Psalm 8, chapter 2, man. Um, you know,
It was
I'm
all
just here
because
doing God's
of the
work, protecting
name.
children.
I have a freedom of speech. I can't say who's violating my constitutional rights.
Yeah.
So I don't care. It's like
Right.
if they want
I
to
ain't
come
worried
for
about
me,
that.
no, I'm not. They're in federal court. It's in open records.
Yeah, well, that's another thing is actually Facebook has been sued multiple times already, and they
Right.
already paid out. They just
But
paid out.
I appreciate your advices,
Yeah, of
ID,
course.
and you, Mr. Obsidian. And I appreciate you having me here. And thank you for everything that you do, as always.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming on and being a part of this thing.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't get to your phone call the other day. I had some stuff going on.
no, yeah, I understand. And thank you all for being here. And let's protect our kids and our constitutional rights.
Learn what your rights are. Yes.
Oh,
Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Of course, Albie. Yeah. They like to use it against you. Yes, they do.
they can, but the fact that they have violated my constitutional rights, it's gone against them. Not
And
me.
that's coming. That's coming. So another thing, one more thing, man, on that laptops, because I'm gonna try to get my case started. Have you sent it?
Not
Okay.
yet. I'm working on it.
But you will? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just wondering if you had sent it out yet or not. That's fine.
Oh yeah, no,
At your
I'm working.
leisure, friend.
All right, my friends. Have a good night, man, and yeah, see you soon, man.
I'll catch you later, bro.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, man.
Okay. Let's see here. Yep, that would be Psalm 8 2. And Jonathan, here's you actually do have what's called a constitutional charter in your nation of Canada. And you also do have apparently some previous adjudication on parental rights, but it's needing more adjudication to pull it forward and make it become a doctrine. Right now, it's just something that's proposed within the court and in the legislature. But if you guys can get parental rights stuff passed through, that would be nice, because the gender affirming care has migrated. Let's just say they don't want to be here in the U.S. because of Trump, and I'm sure that's why. Another thing is the assisted suicide thing. Hey, Tony's back. Tony back on?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, what up, bro? What up, bro?
Yeah.
Free association.
What's up? What's up, man? How are you? I see you doing your thing, man.
What's good with you, brother?
Oh, so you made my video go from black and white to now colored somehow. You brought me up to the main stage.
Yeah. That's the production team. Yeah, they do great, I think, man.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, my thing is lately everyone's saying that they don't know what that means. What Trump saying that all these non-governmental organizations have to start abiding by some of these recently adjudicated Supreme Court laws, cases that have been, ruled upon over the last 4 or 5, 6 years or whatever. One mainly being SEC versus Jarkissi, which is a part of those 10 that were listed that these agencies have to start abiding by. He gave him a countdown of 60 days from what I saw there. So we gotta see what happens. We're probably around like what, day 55 now.
It's
55 days left.
57.
So
57.
okay, so let's
I'm
see what
counting, bro.
happens. Let's see what happens. All these meetings at legislator and this and all these little TED talks that people are having don't mean shit, man. The only thing we can really wait on is for someone like Trump to write something like
He's
this
making
that's
he's making a path for us. It's up to
consuming.
us. It's up to us. The people have to sue, man. That's the only way. It's the only way we're going to effectuate change within the judicial branch. The executive branch, we've got them. They're on our side as far as everything's concerned. They've already said they're going back to the Constitution. Like you said, man, but them openly stating that these agencies are going to have to start going by the Constitution now. Would you not say that opens the door for further talks on the constitutionality of these federal agencies, right?
I mean, the lawsuits are going to start piling in there once they have to cease and desist activity after 60 days. So basically, anything unlawful. But I want to know if it's going to be a situation where they're going to make people if they're going to make people fight back to get off of it finally, or they're just going to do the prima facie thing or the prima facie, where they're just going to keep being a herb and keep hanging out every week until they fight back a little bit. It should just be an all-encompassing ruling that everyone should be getting a letter in the mail saying, "Hey, we're about to cease and desist taking your property from now on."
Yeah, this is going to get
It's interesting how they're going to play it out. I'm not sure. Right. That's the thing. It's going to be interesting. How are they going to do it? That's the only thing that I'm thinking about. How are they going to achieve this? It's going to be very interesting, and it's the only type of ruling that can help 99% of us out right now. So, I mean, it's something is what Trump is doing. All these TED talks and meetings and conversations being had at different assembly houses or court, legislative houses or state buildings or whatever is all bullshit, man. People just wasting time, paying money for all these flights, bouncing around, and you have most of the time idiots in there talking bullshit. Being paid to be there to talk bullshit and try to deflect and talk about some other stupid shit. Why parenting shouldn't be 50-50, why it should start off at 0-0 or 100-0 or whatever, is some other dumb shit that it shouldn't be. So it's just a waste of time. I mean, I like the Mark Ludwig, I like the fight in him and all that stuff, but I mean, it's just a waste.
So look, the 42 USC 1983. All you got to do, man, right, is prove color of state law, which is easy. That's just your 42
Right.
USC 654 state plan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's premeditated deprivation of your rights under a color of law. So
Yeah, it's gonna be 1983 all the way, man. That's gonna be the most impactful, suit to bring against them. I mean, it's got to be the 1983. You could throw some other ones in there, but I mean, if you're not throwing 1983 in there, I mean, you're putting yourself at a disservice.
Yeah.
Should be one of the easier ones to do too. Has to be 1983. You have another one too, USC 1922 or something like that. What was that?
42 USC.
Some
Let me get the speaker back on because Ricardo tried to call in video.
There was another one. It was like 1922, 1822. That's the thing. I don't know all the numbers, man. I wish I did.
That's awesome, Ricardo. Thanks for that. Dang it. Yeah, I don't know how to fix this. Anyway, I don't know how to fix it and put this back on. Oh,
Yeah, you've been talking about some other one other than 1983. I
unless
forgot
that's you.
what it was.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm ready to get back here, man. I'm out here in California, man.
That the 1983 is real
Taking it.
easy. You
Oh,
just
no,
got
you
to
can't see
serve
it.
all parties. You make sure that you prove deprivation of rights under the state plan because it's color of state law. You'll do that with either your religious rights or whatever in your constitution that you got, and then that's it. You just prove that the state plan violated one of your rights, and then that's it, man. They can't block it because my packet comes with all the stuff that says that they can't block the lawsuit. All that.
But then you bring me to another point. Some of these federal prosecutors they're trying to kick you down the road a little bit, kick the can down the road a little bit, going straight to federal. They'll say, "Hey, you need to exhaust it in the state first."
It's all
You know what I mean? Before you come back. So then
they can't do that. It's all contained in your pretrial packet. Yeah. There's a Supreme Court ruling that says that you do not have to exhaust all state court administrative remedies first.
Damn.
Wicker Feldman, I have proof that it's
it'll be tough
overturned.
though now. It would have been easier if I looked earlier.
The same with the Chevron.
I mean, it's a little tight in there though.
They can't use the 11th Amendment, Franconi Associates versus United States. Oh, yeah, I wish I had some more. I'm out. Hey, man, it's legal in my
bad,
state.
King Leia. I was taking care of some other shit. I was taking care of some shit. It's not legal for me. We're CDL, so we really shouldn't even be having anything. Even a vape, we can't even have up in here.
It's only illegal because of MK Ultra anyway.
If the Democratic Party didn't use their bar association compadres to go hard at Trump over the last couple of years, he wouldn't be going this hard on these different type of non-governmental organizations, agencies, these NGOs.
Yeah, these non-governmental organizations.
I'm glad that they tried to.
Which is what child support is, because that's a 42 USC 659B private person.
Right. So by just being hit with the grenade, just getting the shrapnel of it, it helps us out. You know what I mean? We're kind of like a byproduct of what happened to him. So we're being helped as well as kind of as a byproduct, which is great. Because we were being attacked by the same people that run that shit too.
Yeah, because they just happen to be the same people that pissed Trump off.
It's crazy, man.
It's that enemy of my enemy is my friend thing.
We're gonna go to the trailer. We're gonna do some practice backing in, backing up. We're just go to the trailer first. I like to go past ready spaces and make that right after it. I mean, we could park in here too. It's always over the tracks. You break hard, huh?
I've also got, I've got the 1983 paperwork along with a copy of how to fill out the 1983 that I can put in the same sort of. I would have to send either both of them or put it in a zip file. I don't know how to send zip files through the internet yet.
Mirrors are all good. Yeah, let's do the zip file, man.
But right now I just got PDFs, but I mean, it's all included, man. It's got the case law that says you don't have to exhaust the remedies. It's got jurisdiction. The video I made shows you where and how to file, all that stuff. What to take care of, like you want service of process before you file. You want to make sure you color a law form everybody before you file, and letter of intent to sue, which I have a copy of both. And then you just go ahead and file your lawsuit when they refuse to stop acting against you.
Yeah, the thing is, putting it, they can kick your can down the road and make you waste a year.
Yep, Speedy Trial Act. You got the Sixth Amendment right to a speedy trial. And you got it's also it's not only in criminal that goes for plaintiffs too, man. The speedy expedition of justice is under the Canons law.
Yeah.
That'd be your judicial code of conduct. Hell yeah, brother. We're gonna take it to him,
That's
bro.
the
Don't
thing,
you worry.
man. I don't, but there's different schools out there. People that say that it has to be done state first, and people that say it has to go federal first. You know, it's a weird game that they play, and then they try to deflect it and make you,
It's unfortunate
waste
the
your time
Supreme
and keep your
Court
can down the road.
clarified that. Williams versus Reed, 2025. United States versus Lee, Butts versus Economou.
Smooth.
Franconia Associates versus United States. Maine versus Stibino.
What's making it is that when it's going, it's picking your foot off the thing. So just hammer down on it and just keep it down. Because if you try to whatever, it'll keep on making you. You know what I mean? Just hammer down on it and keep it down. You know, get a left line or stay in this lane if you want. Yeah, just hammer down. Because once you start doing that and your foot is in the middle, trying to keep it smooth, only do it smooth on the brakes, but on the acceleration, hammer down pretty much all the time, straight. Smooth on the brakes, but hammer down for the most part on the acceleration, all the way down to the metal.
So yeah, we'll once I get this computer in, I'm gonna start doing my 1983, and when mine's complete, you can use what I have and add to it.
Yeah, I just need to really check out the index and the appendix.
Yeah, I sent that. I think I did send the appendix to you for the Supreme Court cases. Yet I still got to get the United States Code and Code of Federal Regulation appendices done. But
is this? Yeah,
that's coming right behind.
I want remedy. So
Yeah,
I need to frame this lawsuit in a way where there's remedy.
I've got the pro se book on what remedies are available with the 1983. I do believe custody of women's children could be something that would be a remedy. You know, get your custody back at least to even.
I know, but then that's going to lead to the thing when I get the custody back or try to fight for the custody back. Guess which court I got to go back to get this thing going? But it's the same administrative court. Like that's the thing that's going to be interesting. Like, what court do you go by? Because she's not going to be like, she in her head she has sole custody.
They have to listen to the federal supremacy clause, man.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like, if she's going. Yeah, I mean,
because look, 42 U.S.C. 660 civil action to enforce child support obligation.
I know,
then it would only survive under equal protection of law that you could apply the same under 28 U.S.C. 1331 federal question. Did they violate your constitutional rights? And yes, the fuck they did.
Yeah, but I don't have a. It's a good diesel here, I guess too. We can do that later on.
You could even if they fail to accept process, you could default.
Cops don't enforce those orders because those orders aren't even real. They're not lodged in the county clerk's office, and they don't have two judicial signatures. They're not real official. This is Ready Spaces. You're gonna back into one of those docks on the left, right there in the middle, and then we park on the next street. I could park there in a pinch because it's very quiet there. There's not a lot of people that run businesses out of there. But to be out of their hair, I'll either park down here or I'll park over here. See how these other truckers are parked over there? Hammer down. Hammer down. There you go. Because if you
Federal
leave it in the
law is
middle,
something done under
yeah, you're gonna be
federal
going
official
all
law.
this.
Why does he gotta continue to call me while I'm on the video?
Back in it, put it on. Do a little reverse. Hook it up. We're gonna do some practice. I'm backing into the docks over there.
I got about 7 minutes left. Well, no, actually 17. My bad.
Yeah. We're rocking, man. We're rocking. Sucks
The
we gotta
civil
do all this
complaint,
shit.
that's with the 42 USC 1983. You can get it at me. You can get it at the federal district courts.
Either a hammer down
I'm
or let
responding
off
to
all the
comments.
way. There's
You can
really
get it
no
on
middle.
Pro Se
I mean, you know what I mean?
Finance.
But there's a middle ground once you get used to it. But you're either hammer down or let it just idle by itself to 2-3 miles per hour that it's gonna go.
Yeah, I have a Facebook page, Mr. Dr. Death there.
Here's a charger. Got an extra one of these.
We're working on it. You can get the 1983 form on my stuff there on my Facebook, which would be Adrian Black. My YouTube channel is Mr. Obsidian 8009. Hey, Punisher, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, here's my question. I listen to this, and we talk about this stuff all the time. No one listens to us. No one listens to what we say. No one listens to what we're trying to do in these court cases. There's not a damn thing that's happening that any of us file these claims in the courts. Nothing's going forward with them. What are we supposed to do in the interim?
Back in more. I don't hear the click. Back in hard. Yeah.
Like we have the void ab issue. We have all
check it to see if the pin went in. I don't know if you're in or not.
It looks like that's what is supposed to happen, right? It looks like, we read case law. Case law says this is what it's supposed to say, yada, yada, yada. But how come we use this stuff and we get thrown out of courts with this stuff? This stuff is not working. Why? Who are we going to force to listen to, and when do we get them to talk?
That would be the proper Article 3 jurisdiction. I keep telling everybody.
You're right, but they have tactics and techniques. That's what I'm saying. They have tactics and techniques to shoo it away.
When is it going to be the difference when we file this paperwork that we all read, that we see is right, that we know is right? They tell you that you misinterpret the law. Well, I have a degree in English.
Yeah, either always put the windows down, halfway down at least, or take the keys with you. Because I've been in some. You don't have to take the keys right now. Just use your window.
There we go. So when are these people? When is this stuff actually going to work in the courts? When is it going to make a difference?
That's when we all get up. We all start filing, man.
60 days.
File and they just go out of the courts.
They got 60 days, by the way, too.
Right, and then there's also this group of people now that says at the 60-day onset, which is 420, there's going to be martial law implicated. So what if there's even any validity in that?
It's going to be interesting. That's what I say. It's going to be interesting because if you're disobeying those orders, those executive orders that are coming down from the top man himself, will he then try to put more power in the executive branch and maybe get the guard, get the U.S. guard out there?
It's also partly because we keep interpreting it wrong. We keep going after the state entity instead of the private person in their personal private capacity, man.
Right.
If they're entering child service, they're under a contract.
Right. Well, all of that aside, I'm not under a contract with anybody. God put me on this planet. God.
Right. You're not in. You're not technically in it, but they've drugged you into it, which is why it's void ab initio.
Understood. But back to my question: how is it that it's going to enforce these things to make these things matter? Because all of us are doing this stuff for years. Nothing
Right.
sticks.
That's the interesting part. That's where it gets interesting because that's where I want to see where it kind of goes first. Right now, I mean, if we just start, suing and filing lawsuits and stuff like that, they have mechanisms and techniques to battle and kick it out of the state court and the
Right.
federal
And
court. You
then
know
the
what I
ones,
mean?
correct. And then the ones that matter, like these people that they don't think, right? These people that are doing all these class action lawsuits, well, you're ruining the future lawsuit for someone else in that capacity that will never be able to use that again because you wanted to be,
Right.
jackrabbit
Huh?
quick and try to go
And
get
these
10.
lawyers are out here suggesting it, and they're going along with it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
what I
right.
mean,
You're right about that.
yeah, just like
So
that.
if I want to go fight, an argument that I have about a
You
CPS
start
case
saying,
because these little
oh,
dirtbags wanted to go and do a freaking, they wanted to do a class action suit about taking your kid. They're ruining it for everybody. They're ruining this for everybody because now no one again can go about that same thing. Now we all know that all of our cases are very similar when it comes to child protective services. The same things have happened when it comes to drug tests being falsified, when it comes to them illegally taking your kid without a warrant, when it comes to all of these things. So who are the people out there that are telling these jackrabbits to not go out and file a class action suit, first of all? Second of all, why
start
are
it up.
people not out there saying, whoa, like us, saying don't do
You
the
you
class
hooked up the
action?
power lines?
It's not because it's the wrong thing. It is wrong. It's wrong because you should let each individual in their own capacity handle their business the way that it needs to be handled. And people are just
Yeah, you
taking that
can't
away
block
from
future
everybody. Now,
lawsuits from being performed either. What it would
but
do
now
is just
hear me out though. But now you got all these people that listen to our shows and they think that they're fucking lawyers and they start just filing this paperwork on, like Tony just said. And now they're not even going to take seriously any people down the road that are going to file these 1983s. And these things will be just like he said. They're meant
the difference here is that the difference here is that the 1983s you'll still be able to file those. It's that you won't be able to file another class action. You
Well,
get
here's
me?
the thing. The 1983s, first of all, you got to get past Rooker-Feldman. So you got to get past
I
that.
already
So if
did
you
that.
people are
Rooker Feldman's overturned, buddy.
still, you cannot bring your CPS case into the federal court. They do not deal in judiciating against family matters. They will not answer those claims. So if you go in there and you say
They
my
don't
case
like to
is
do it.
by
That's
CPS,
unfortunate
they will
for
not
them.
listen to it. They won't listen to it. They don't
Why?
adjudicate on broken cases by CPS. They will not. Now they'll answer a constitutional issue that was at hand, but they're not going to come in there and try to make a decision against your kid because you think your kid was wrongfully taken. That's not what they do. This
Right,
federal
because
courts only rule on the
they've
constitution of the issue.
they've all been kicking all the federal courts have been kicking it back down to the state courts, telling you to do the state court, wasting another year of your life and more paperwork for them to use a Rooker Feldman
It's all
whatever
included
doctrine or
in
whatever call
it's all
it.
included
Even
in the
I know,
package. They
but
can't
even
do
if you
that.
preemptively, right, but Adrian, even if you preemptively use the Rooker Feldman counter, you know what I mean. They still end up using the Rooker Feldman. It's crazy. You know, they basically do what they want. You know what I mean? And yes, I
That's
feel what
it.
this guy's saying. They do what they want still. Even
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
can write the
What they're
perfect
doing is not what they're
motion,
supposed to be
you know
doing,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
You can write the perfect motion. It don't matter, man. They'll still do what they want until, how this guy is saying, until we really get some executive action going on, and that's where I feel like it's going to get interesting. So I have no idea what they're going to do.
Right, and
No idea.
interesting is great and everything, but time isn't stopping for any of us.
No,
Our
I
kids are
know.
Right.
getting older, our families are dying off. Like all of these
Right.
things. So this stuff, this is like a national emergency situation here. This is not, like if we the people are the government, then this fucking CPS shit needs to be made the utmost national emergency. They're stealing our kids. We're wrongly being accused of crimes that we're not committing. We're losing the lives of our kids because of, like, seriously, I have my daughter was taken. She was 4 years old,
Yeah.
man. When she comes home, when I get her home, dude, she's 8 years old now. She's not going to be the same fucking kid, not even close. So I
Right.
don't get to raise somebody
Right.
else's kid that has destroyed my kid. This is what's going on all around this fucking country, and not a goddamn person is doing a fucking thing about it to help us. So when do these
Right.
people wake the fuck up, smell the flowers, and realize that this is a real issue?
Right. Right. And I think it's going to be rectified, but I think it's going to take a while still. But I think Trump has made a great step when he added those things on the White House page with the 10, previously adjudicated Supreme Court cases. SEC versus Garcia being on there with the in-house lawyer presiding over in-house incentivized cases is a lack of due process, is a violation of due process. So just that one alone, that I've been talking about over the last 6 months to a year, should make them get the act right. But will they really get the act right going on? Will they start really abiding by the Constitution? It's going to be real. It's going to be weird to see how everything shapes out. You know what I mean?
Maine doesn't CPS under a CPS state plan. That is color of state law. When they deprive you of your parental rights, which they can't be acting on, if you go ahead and you see the Supreme Court cases that line up for the past 300 years, it's going to tell you they can't be doing what they're doing. And if you look at all the 1983 Supreme Court cases on 42 USC 1983 lawsuits, it's going to tell you none of their methods for barring your 1983 lawsuit are valid. Everything they're saying is coming out of their mouth is boring.
Listen, these lawyers,
documents. In fact, they were using it in Maine.
Did you tug test everything good?
It's completely void. I've got the Maine statutes are completely void, which means they're color of law. Which means if the federal district court is not going to take these cases, they're going to have a problem now because that's writ of certiorari to the Supreme Court of the United States.
Well, listen, it's not like these legal professionals don't know these terms that were thrown back at them and all that. I mean, they went to school and all this shit. They know these names, man.
They know what we're talking about. Yeah,
they already know what we're talking about already. You know what I mean? And they're doing this whole WWE, WWF.
I'll put it this way: are you going to go to somebody who's corrupt and tell them to stop being corrupt and expect them to not be corrupt? That's a definition of insanity.
Right. They know it, though. That's the thing. They are supremely aware of all the stuff that
they manipulate it too.
That they're you know what I mean? And they know all the case law that we're coming in there with, as well. It's not like that they're oblivious to it. I mean, they read these case laws daily, day to day.
But they're all getting bribes. That's where it comes in. They're all getting them bribes the other way.
I have a client that two times he's gone to the state Supreme Court, and they ordered that the lower courts, district court, go back and overturn that case. Guess what hasn't happened? 10 years it's been. 10 fucking years. They still haven't done it. Now they go back. They go back to the courts again. They overturn it. They tell their lower courts to act accordingly. Lower courts don't act accordingly. They still don't have their kids. No kids.
Writ of mandamus.
They've already done it.
Yeah, they'll just punt it back and forth. You know what I mean? That's part of their deflection game. It's really a benign neglect tactic. Benign neglect. They know what it is, but they're going to do a tactic where, and it's just one of the many tactics that they use to make you get frustrated, discouraged, and quit and give up. Because you are right, but they don't really have to.
So that's done. So now there's no more mom in the situation.
You don't have to go like that. That's a little wide. You don't have to go that wide.
And this is part of their plan. This all works for the whole, the world population.
They can't blatantly
go on the break and then go into reverse. There you go. You don't have to go that wide, though.
Yeah, they've done it. They've ruled it, and now they've kicked it back up there.
There you go.
And lower court doesn't listen. And nothing happens.
Gas pedal. There you
go. None whatsoever.
And that's where the executive branch should come.
Nice. Look in that mirror. Look in that mirror. See that? Yep. Good.
Should.
Should. Checks and balances, man.
Good.
It's too late for that. It's too late. This thing is so blown out, so many ways. The only way that this works is exactly what I said. I believe the people to take this fucking shit back. That's it. Period. That's the only way this is going to fix anything, because everybody out there doesn't want to wait another 2 to 3
back up into this one.
For their fucking kids to come out. No one wants to wait like that. You can't, because some of these kids are turning 18. Like the time does not stop. And they treat this fucking 6 months. That way they can match it up with the Title IV funding and all of that and get their extra dollars and all of this stuff. But in the meantime, you're
But they
missing
want you
this
feeling like that, like there's nothing that you can do to them.
right. Well, there is something that can be done. Absolutely, there can be, but there's not enough
There's
people out there that have the
absolutely.
fucking
Watch
balls
this.
to go ahead and
Watch
join
me.
it.
Because Michigan's
Whenever you
about
have
to
a
get
lot
over
of space to go up, just use it. You know what I mean? Just use it. Go up even more. No, it's going to be
I'm just waiting
interesting,
on it. I'm just waiting on a laptop
and then give you
in the
more.
mail, bro. I'm just waiting on a laptop in the mail. Because when I start filing, they're going to have a fucking problem. If they come back with
Right,
anything saying I
go
can't
more
do
up.
that, I'm going to be like, no, yes, I can. Now it's an appealable issue. I will take it all the way.
Hmm?
And I will continually appeal the Supreme Court until they take the case.
I don't believe I do. Well, this is why you and I both know the thing that I talk about all the time needs to work, and everybody needs to just do it. Period.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. We need to
What's
all be
that
sending
tactic?
letters to all public officials, cease and desist this unlawful activity,
Correct.
and they need to be receiving it from everybody. This is fucked up behavior. You don't do this to children, man.
That's it. And it's all about the children. Like, we are ruining our future. Our future is being ruined. And you know what?
I don't
I
care
feel
about
bad
the
even for
money.
rich
I don't
kids.
care about,
Even the rich kids that aren't involved in this
people's
stuff, I feel bad.
altercations between their ex. None of that shit.
Mhm.
It's this. This is unhealthy to children.
Just go all the way up into
Yep.
this line,
That's the
straighten
bottom
out,
line of it. That's
and
the
try to get
bottom
an
line.
angle.
And what do you
Use
expect?
use
What are you
use
going
all
to
this up
expect out of
straight,
this next generation of kids
and then try to get
that have
back
been
into that.
stolen,
Go slow
that have
back into
trust
that.
issues, that are all of these things? They're going to be nothing. Nothing at all. You just wasted a whole generation of human life over fucking some money.
I know.
That's
There you go.
It's
that's the bottom
disgusting.
line.
But you can't let that shit consume you, my guy.
Well, what
I
are you
know.
gonna do? Oh, hey, let's hurry up and
It's
put the
easier
drug
said than
dealers
done.
in jail, though, right? Let's put them in jail and put them right out on the fucking put them in jail for life sentence and this, that, and the other. They're not hurting anybody. These people are making their choices. But we can let these senators and these congressmen and these judges and all this shit run rancid, ruin life after life after life after life after life, cause life after life after life to be lost. No penalties. But let's go put the dude down there selling cocaine on the street in jail for a life sentence. Makes a lot of fucking sense. And they'll hurry up and do it too. Investigation finished, court finished, jail sentence put in, done, deal, done and over within 8 months. You know?
I got a feeling we ain't heard the last of things in Maine.
I got a feeling the people in this country need to realize that this isn't an issue amongst just poor people and people of poverty or people of the middle class. This is the whole kit and caboodle, man. It's just they haven't come up to steal their kids yet. And maybe they have. Maybe there's some sick, twisted mind fuck that they're doing.
It's all in the background of everything, man.
Right. So those kids are being just as harmed as we are.
I want you to land there.
You know the federal
it shouldn't be a
investigation
hard
that you
angle
and
at the
I are
very end.
looking into.
Get in it smooth. Go all the way up. Go all the way up. Try to get into the.
There will be action on this,
angle.
man.
I hope so. Man, he should be a sex instructor, I think.
Well, I can tell you it's economic exploitation of children, which isn't a crime yet, but it soon will be.
How can that not be a crime?
Try not to jerky.
How can that not
So
be a
I tried
crime?
looking it up. I can't find it anywhere. It's got to be under state law or something.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. The whole thing is, man.
It's gross, isn't it?
All you want to do.
But where's the protesters?
At first, it used to make me hate fatherhood, but now it makes me want to kick their ass.
Right. Where's the reinforcements, man? You know, just like the gentleman said the other night that was on Tiff and the Punisher. You know, like he's like, this will be great. We could all run that first wave of offense right across the line. But when you turn around and our asses are getting stuffed in jail cells and put away, who's going to be there to pick up the rest of the slack? Nobody.
Yeah, Punisher.
Eventually, they'll run out of non-custodial parents to lock up.
We're just going to stand back and just watch what happens. Be like, oh shit, I'm not doing that. You know, the number one thing that you're supposed to have in religion is faith, right? Like you're supposed to have faith in God. You're supposed to have faith no matter what. Well,
gotta hold the line, bro.
We the people, you know what? We the people, we should have faith in that. in that argument, because that's real to us.
God
and
is
that's real
coming.
to
God
what I'm
is going
saying
to
is,
save
you
us from
want
this.
to hold on, stop for a sec. Pull back up in there.
You know what I'm saying though? Like if you knew for a fact that these people would be able to do this and they were going to come running to your aid behind you, wouldn't you do it? Would you make the moves necessary, even though that there's a penalty to pay? Shouldn't you do that? They did it for the Revolutionary War. We've done it all through history. Where's our forefathers and where's our Sons of Liberty and where are all these people now? We've got a bunch of mouths with no balls. That's what we've got. These people have been talking about this for 30 fucking years. Nothing has changed. We're having the same goddamn conversation.
More committees.
Get that trailer in front of that green tractor as soon as you can.
No, I get where you're coming from, though.
Wait. Start over. I want you to turn and go towards
You're right.
that front
They do
door
that a lot,
of
man.
that place.
Little talking piece here and there, and
Drive,
they never address the fucking situation.
Go this way.
Look at P. Diddy comes out. They talk about all these kids that were, used in these parties and all of this, and everybody gets. You even have, Amy there, her army there, Amy's army, come out and say that CPS is the one that trafficked her. You have all of this stuff for a minute, for a quick fucking second. CPS is going to get theirs. Nope, never happens. Why are they not even talking about that anymore? Why aren't they talking about the real reason that these fires were burnt in fucking LA so they could cover up all the goddamn kids that are missing underneath the ground there and blow up those tunnels?
Don't use the brake. Try not to use the brake. Just let it idle.
Yeah, but I gotta get out of here, man.
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. I just had to vent for a minute.
No, you're good. We got about 3 minutes and 30 left, anyways. But I don't want to cut too quick. I don't want to cut too much into Gunner's show. So
yeah,
it's gonna be all right, man. Hang in there. It's coming.
I ain't going anywhere. We have a station around, dude.
Maine's about to get a wake up call. When I say Maine, I mean the corporate structure of Maine.
Good. Keep it going at an angle. Then once you get to that spot,
all right, man.
We're gonna start flipping it.
All right, Tony. We're out of here, big dog.
That was a good.
Thank you for coming on and shooting the craps with us. I love it. It's good.
No problem, man. You know where to find me.
Yeah, I'll get with you on that. I'll get you the documents you need.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Yep.
I'll see you, Adrian. Peace.
You see all this here? This is because you remove parents from homes instead of trying to help them figure out a better way. Instead of trying to help them understand their constitutional rights and what it takes to be a parent. Instead of trying to help them face their economic hardship, you create more for them. You steal children. You sell them for profit. Through Title 4D and Title 4E funding. And I'm coming for you. Because I don't think you've been sued by private people enough. I don't think the people have come up against you enough. I'm coming for you. Prepare yourself for the man of blood.
I am Obsidian. Hear me break free. Voices rising up, can't stifle our plea. Our kids taken, hearts filled with rage. Unite, stand strong, let's break this cage. Behind closed doors, secrets buried deep. Wolves in suits, power they seek. Parents scream loud, but answers they keep. Government games, we no longer sleep. We are Obsidian, heroes break free. Voices rising up, can't stifle our plea. Our kids generation lost. Futures they steal, society fractures, wounds never heal. Whispers turn to roars, truth revealed. In the end, justice and power concealed. Bills was killed, control rest and key walk free. But you change his devil parts, look the light of heaven, love him and free. Thinking devils was killed, the child rest and key out free. But you change his devil parts, look the light of heaven, love him and free. Thinking devils was killed, the child rest and key out free. But you change his devil parts, look the light of heaven, love him and free. They be devils lost, killed, the child rested, kid out free. But you change his devil parts with the audio with generation lost. Futures they steal, society fractures, wounds never heal. Whispers turn to roars, truth revealed. In the end, justice and power concealed. Eyes wide open, no more disguise. Facing our fears, demands they despise. Strength in numbers, time to rise. Kidnap our kids, we mobilize. We are Obsidian, hear us break free. Voices rising up, can't stifle our plea. Our kids taken, hearts filled with rage. Unite, stand strong, let's break